Well, welcome to our Zoom happy hour, as we like to call it. We're 95.3 KRTY. I'm Gary Scott Thomas. You're not used to seeing me. I get that. It gets scary. If this helps, because you're used to radio, I'm more than happy to do that. Along with our general manager, Nate Deaton, and our very special guest, Mr. Eric Paslay. How are you?
Good. How y'all doing?
Look at that. You've got the rustic setting.
Yeah, man. You got you got to bring the rustic out.
Now
I don't even know what that.
You don't even know. Yeah, right. Now you build, right? I mean, you're good with your hands.
Yeah, I love building. I was actually I was repairing. Well, got hit by the tornado here in Nashville, and I was actually setting more posts for our fences earlier today. So it's good to be inside and air conditioning and hanging out with y'all right now. But yeah, love building stuff. Built this fun little door behind me. And yeah, anyway, I like building stuff.
I mean, you can talk about playing guitar and how that gets chicks, but if you want to keep a chick, know how to wear and use a tool belt.
It's not bad. The handyman, it doesn't hurt. I used to come over and repair a lot of things for Natalie before we dated. I'd be like, oh, your toilet's leaking. I should come fix that, which it really was. And that being said, plumbing is not fun to work on, so it must have been love. But yeah.
Well, especially on your part. I mean, the fact that...
Actually, can you imagine trying to fix a toilet if you were 6'6"?
No.
It's awkward.
I mean, I know what it's like to fix my own family's toilet, but I mean, we're married with kids, right? The idea that you'd fix somebody's toilet you're dating, I mean, are wanting to date. You weren't even dating yet, right?
The one thing I've learned with like working is you can wash your hands and you can clean up. That's the one thing I've learned. The more you get dirty, the more you realize you can wash it off. That being said, it can still nothing ever. It was just a leaky little like valve coming out of the wall, which anyone that's done those and copper valves, they're awful. They're awful to work with.
Yeah, that's what leaky little valve. I use this thing and I call a plumber. That's how I fix them.
That's my toolbox right there. That's what I do.
I wrote a song with Paul Overstreet called "Saving Money, Spending Time," and I told that to one of the guys. We fixed up a farmhouse and we put in a big old like 34-foot beam, and clearly I can't do. I mean, clearly I'm jacked, but I can't lift a 34-foot beam. It weighs about 1,000 pounds. But we had a crew of workers, and he was like, "Man, He's like, you have like hit records, man. Why are you here working? Why are you doing this?" And I was like, I call it saving money and spending time. And occasionally right now we have a ton of time on our hands. I think everybody. So it's like my Christmas. It's my handyman Christmas time. I get to fix up all kinds of things.
Has that always been, I don't want to use the word easy for you, but I love the fact that your lyrics are so accessible. I think it would be easy, especially if you're good at this, if you're good at writing songs, that you may get too cute for your own good. I mean, thank goodness you don't go down the Jethro Tull thing. You know what I'm saying? As far as writing these obscure, crazy things. Have you always had that ability to be accessible? Is that just the way you've always approached songwriting?
Yeah, I mean, I know that writing songs is a gift. Like, we all have our things that make sense to us. And I guess that the same thing I do in like building this door, like you have all these parts and you put it together and it's a door. Do we need more doors? Probably not. You can find another one somewhere. But for some reason I felt like I needed to build this one, and that's the same thing with songs. And, I didn't use the one screw in this door because it's an old way of building it, but it'll last even longer if you build it that way with wooden dowels. And I kind of approach writing songs and building things in that way if I can, to just build it where it's always usable to any human that ever comes in contact with it. I don't know, just how I phrase that. I like building things and thinking, making it not easy for me.
That may
I like the hard way, dang it. And I love YouTube because you can find out how to do anything on there. Just if it's got too many thumbs downs, don't trust the guy.
That may be the single best answer to that question I think anybody could have ever given.
I agree.
That was brilliant. And because it is, and you talk about songs written by Eric Paslay. I mean, and he's going to play some of them. But "She Don't Love You," "She's Just Lonely," and he co-wrote on "Even If It Breaks Your Heart." I mean, things that just make sense. My goodness, it's a song about a girl. I mean, it's just accessible and it's right there, and it's brilliant at the same time, where you can take it and make it accessible, but also find the rhythm and find the three chords and the truth in it.
Yeah, get some Harlan Howard quotes in there. Heck yeah. Oh, yeah, Harlan Howard was a really famous songwriter. I don't even know how many number ones he had, but yeah, he always said that. And I never got to meet the guy, but I get to hear a bunch of stories about him. And I always think of like the Godfather of Music Row. You know, I don't think he was mafia, but you know, he was a hit maker. He was a hit man.
He was as close to it as country
yeah,
music's going to get.
Yeah,
We loved "Even If It Breaks Your Heart" so much. We put it on our wall in our conference room, and when Eric was here last October, he actually signed it. So it's in script in our conference room for all the new artists to come and play. That line from that song is immortalized there.
Well, what I want to know is, out of all the songs you have, and we're going to play the new music stuff too, but what are you going to start this evening with?
y'all just want to kick off with that one? Shoot,
Which one?
we'll just heal everybody's hearts with that.
Let's go with it.
Do that. And I was, you know, there's so many songs. Thank you for, I feel honored that I get to hang on your wall around all the new Nervous kids showing up on video tour. Just towering over them, watching and judging their every word.
Exactly.
And all that things.
It's a signature and a webcam at the same time, so he can watch them when they try to.
Yes, and you get the thumbs up or down. Not really.
And we learned you don't want too many thumbs down.
No.
Because you don't trust that guy.
I know, right? I wrote this song. I guess, man, this is the first song I ever heard on the radio that I'd written, and it was played on a local station that it was Will Hoag's version, and y'all should go check that version out too. But yeah, thanks to Mike Eli and all the guys in Eli Young Band for putting this song out, and thanks for hanging it on your wall, KRTY. Yeah, here we go. Way back on a radio dial, fire got lit inside a bright-eyed child. Every note just wrapped around the soul. I'm still guitar in Memphis all the way to rock and roll. Oh, I can hear him playing. I can hear the ringing of a beat-up guitar. Oh, I can hear him singing. Keep on dreaming, even if it breaks your heart. Downtown is where I used to wander, old enough to get there, but too young to get inside. So I would stand out on the sidewalk, listen to the music playing every Friday night. Oh, I can hear it playing, I can hear the ringing of the beat-up guitar. Oh, I can hear him singing, keep on dreaming, even if it breaks your heart. Some dreams stay with you forever, drag you around, lead you back to where you were. Some dreams, yeah, they keep on getting better. Gotta keep believing if you wanna know for sure. Oh,
That's a great song, and Eli Young did a great job with it. But man, you would have had a hit with that song. That was, I mean, and you sang the hell out of that thing.
Thank you. You never know. I've learned with radio, you never know if you'll have a hit, but all you can do is put out a great song. And I'm glad that they recorded it the way they did, and I'm thrilled that they had a hit with it.
See, that's why I was talking about the accessible lines. Where I've always loved that line of that song, that some dreams stay with you forever, drag you around, but bring you back to where you were. I mean, that's again, Harlan Howard. That is just a universal thing that if you get old enough, that happens to everybody.
Yeah, I think you always end up at the start again, or at least you'll end up wanting to be at the start again. Once you're sitting on top of the world, you want to go back to being able to actually build everything it took you to get there. I think when you got arthritis and can't even do it anymore, you want to work hard in the ground. I think. I don't know. I just figure I'll be that way. You know, I think we all are. You talk about, you know, how hard it was walking uphill both ways, and then you kind of wish you still could, and then realize it's a bad idea.
Well, one of the questions was, or not a question, but one of the comments was that they so enjoyed seeing you at KRTY last year. And the funny thing about KRTY last year was there was actually a bonus appearance because, and not a lot of people know this particular story, but Eric called me from the airport, the San Jose airport, on a Friday night and said, "Hey, can we get a cocktail? I'm playing a show tomorrow in Modesto. We just flew into San Jose." And I said, "Well, we can, but I'm down at the winery. So why don't you come by here and have a cocktail?" And he goes, "Is it on the way to Modesto?" I went, "Absolutely."
Yeah, as the kid from Texas, it's like, is that on the way? Sure, man. Come on. Pick it up. Moving on down. It was perfect. I loved it, man. I love hanging out with y'all there. It's the prettiest venue in the world. I love it.
I'm on my way to Dallas. Is Houston on the way?
Yep.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm coming from Miami. Absolutely.
Well, you know what? It was like 5 o'clock or 5:30 in the afternoon. If he had tried to drive from the San Jose airport to Modesto at that time, he might as well come down to the winery and have a little wine before he had to go back to Modesto. The traffic would be better.
I completely agree with that. And that's the way Californians do it. Because we know, I don't know how it works the rest of the union. And again, during the COVID times, everything's off. But in regular times, there's certain times that if you can't, like if my wife can't get out of the house by 7:30 in the morning, it's easier to wait till 9:30. And you'll get there at the same amount of time. You'll get there at the same arrival time. So yeah, he was doing you a favor, and you had no idea he was doing you a favor, Eric.
You had a good time though.
I mean, when you're coming from Nashville, that's not that far, you know. Also, growing up in Texas or even in California, 2 hours difference really isn't that big a deal, especially if you're going to have a good time. But yeah, that was fun I always love coming out there, and geez, it's just a blast. I always say that every time I get to go play at a vineyard or something, I start trying to grow grapes and everything. And we had like a big frost come through and it killed all my growth off all my grapes. I'm like, yeah. So, well, I'll have grapes later.
All right.
Well,
I don't know if I'll ever make wine. They say it takes like $2 million to make $1 million. And I don't even have like, you know, a coin of that. So
Yeah, you know how to start. You know how to make $3 million making wine. Start with 10.
Mm-hmm.
well, and that's the other thing about the crazy thing about grapes you'll find is the first year or two of growing them, you basically just throw them, you cut them back and throw them away. You don't even use those grapes. You're trying to, prune and prune and prune. So yeah, wine, I'm like you. I'm happy to drink. Adam wanted to know, what wine were you drinking? You, Eric.
I'm actually, this is kind of fun. Our buddy Kix Brooks from here over in Arrington Vineyards. Yeah, he sent out a little. This is our Christmas gift, and I'm drinking it now in May. So thank you, Kix, Arrington Vineyard. That's the closest vineyard we have here in Nashville. So I didn't. It's just what we had open. I was like, cheers, hey. And I was at the vineyard and thought, I'm just going to wine tonight. Bring me back to the hillside.
There was another question about new music and that kind of thing. So I think that's what kind of we started on this path. So why don't you talk a little bit about your new music and your new project?
Yeah. Yay, new music is finally here. It's it's the first time I actually have control over putting music out, and we're putting music out. And I've been working on this record for I've been working on this record a long time, and but this version of this record, I recorded with a guy named Reed Ship, and he's Chesney, Little Big Town, Eric Church. He's an awesome, great guy. Co-produced it with him. We had some great musicians, and a lot of it we cut. A lot of times in the studio you cut the click where it's perfectly in sync. Which is good to do if it's there's certain songs it's good to do on, but a lot of these songs on this album, there's so much energy in it that we just follow the drummer like they used to do, and we got lucky on probably 70% of it. We didn't cut the click, and there's some we wanted to cut the click because they're really dancing songs and you want them to fit perfect. But anyway, that's really behind the walls of Oz, as I like to say, behind the curtain on how he made the record. But Heartbeat Higher is the first song that came out last Friday, and every month I've got a new song coming out, and pretty much every release we've got a new music video coming out with it. So I've been busy. We've been busy getting all this together. I don't think I've ever had a better, I guess you could call it, a setup for a project ever, and I'm thrilled about it. And just the guys and gals I get to work with now are just awesome, and I'm thrilled that y'all invited me to hang out with y'all. And but yeah, I'm excited. It just feels good to finally be able to put out music, and I know a lot of fans have been very patient, and I thank all of y'all tuned in for being patient for the new music, and I will get to start bringing you a whole bunch of music. But yeah, it feels really good.
I love the video. You and I talked about it when we had you on the air last week, and talked about the Heartbreak Higher video that you did with Sarah Buxton, and that you also, if you see some of the video, you filmed some stuff when you were in Sweden, right?
Yeah, it's in Stockholm, and I'm like, Stockholm, Sweden. It's really nice. No, I mean it's a beautiful city. If you can ever travel, or whenever it's safe to travel again, wow, it's amazing. You feel like you're back in time. And we woke up early and thought, let's go film something. It was just a beautiful morning. Sun was shining. There wasn't anybody really on the streets. And it actually, someone asked me, they're like, God, man, how much money did y'all spend to block all the streets in Stockholm? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, there's not a soul around. And I have no clue. We just got lucky. Or Timothy edited the video perfectly to where there's no one there. I don't know.
Well, you had to fit right in. I mean, come on, you do look like a Viking. I mean, you have the Viking look. I mean, come on, look at you.
Hey, man, I'll come at you. I always wanted to be a pirate. That's perfect.
Well, you will be Eric the Norseman. I mean, because you would. Have you ever seen the Viking series, The Vikings?
I have. I mean, horns. I look good in horns, maybe. Big old sword.
Which you would look up, because I mean, you would be the most intimidating Viking. I mean, 6'6" of Viking, baby.
Pillaging is just against my nature. But I'd be like a kind Viking. I'm like going afterwards, like, I'm so sorry, my brethren are terrible people. Here are your grapes back, and I'm sorry. And the children that show up afterwards.
I would be apologizing, Viking.
I'd be, yeah.
Eric the Red would be Eric the Happy.
Yeah. Eric the Ashamed. That's why he's Eric the Red. He's Eric the Ashamed. He'd be like, I'm so sorry.
I believe the red was more of the blood than just the beard. But yeah, the Paslay, Eric the Ashamed. Yeah. Like so Catholic and Jewish. Knows Christ the guilt, My buddy he's both of those, and it's his joke. Hey, hello, Dylan Altman. If you're watching, it's his joke.
You see why we were so excited about having Eric Paslay on? I mean, that right there. So how did you get, and why did you pick Sarah Buxton, who's been one of our favorites for I can't tell you how long?
Yes, Sarah Buxton. I mean, the first time you hear her voice sing, I don't think anyone inside music or outside music, like you go, who is that? And because she's just mind blowing. She is a star. She's incredible. She's an incredible writer, a great person. And we wrote the song together. And from the very first time that song was written and sung, it was her and I singing it together. And honestly, I recorded it for another project, and it's still on a shelf in a company here in Nashville, and it's meant to be. And we went in and re-recorded it, and I think it's even better version. And gosh, she's so good. And I was joking with Sarah, and I probably told the joke earlier, but I really did tell her. I was like, if Katy Perry calls, I might consider, singing it with her, maybe. But it's like, but as far as singing talent, like Sarah and Katy are right there, it's anyway. I'm glad Sarah's on it with me. And if Katy wants to do, a a surprise appearance, I'll consider that. But depends on. Just make sure Sarah's there.
Sarah's really hard to get to California, but we had her do one of the writers' nights once. So next year, my challenge is to have you and her, she do one together.
Oh,
let's do that.
And the problem is that you may have to make her do that or ask her nicely to do it. But anyway, because she's always been one of our favorites. So can you do it without her, though? Could you play that for us? Can you play that for us now?
Yeah, let's do it.
this is a brand new song. This is Heartbreak Higher, huh?
Heartbreak Higher. And the cool thing is Sarah's husband, Tom Bukovac, played guitar on this in the studio. So maybe we can get him out to California with Sarah. Have really good guitar playing going on. So here we go. Heartbeat Higher. You're the kind of rush buzz is all about. You're the kind of sweet dream I can't do without. Baby, find that fire. Come on, come on, come on. Take my heartbeat higher. Come on, come on. I get to you, you get to me. Can't help but chase the mystery. Let's turn a sunset kiss to a midnight choir. Light finds the day, night finds the moon. I wanna find me next to you. Oh, baby, baby, ooh, taking my heartbeat higher.
awesome.
Have you? And this may sound stupid, but if it's not the first stupid question I've ever asked. Have you always had that range, or is it something that you've developed over the last few years? Because you have an amazing range.
After that ox kicked me in the nuts, I mean,
The ox that Trace Atkins obviously avoided.
Trace was good at looking that ox. No, I don't know. I guess I've always kind of had that. Actually, you know what? There was actually a song, the moment that I really realized how high I can sing like that. There's a song on my album called Less Than Whole that I wrote with Big Kenny, Kenny Alphen from Big and Rich. And I remember there was a period where, I had all these songs, and I played for a bunch of labels in town, and everyone's like, "You're great. You're a star. You're so good. You're so good." And like, I just couldn't get the record deal. And it was like so frustrating because it's like, well, everybody loves me. And then you realize there's literally not room. They just don't have room for you right now. And you wait in line or whatever that is. But I think I was just frustrated and just wanted to be like, look how good I am, or whatever that was. And it wasn't like, it was out of like frustration that God used that to let me realize how big of a note I actually can hit. And yeah, I don't know. I think at that moment I realized, I can actually go to some pretty big notes if I choose to. That being said, I don't think it's healthy for your voice to hit those gigantic, huge notes for forever. But I've started trying to ride a little lower so I can actually sing them when I'm 78,
Well, it's fun. I saw this in Vegas. I saw it it was a karaoke bar, and a guy got up and tried to sing "She Don't Love You, She's Just Lonely," and bless his heart, because it's one of those songs that you think you can sing along on the radio until you're out there on stage and you try to sing it, and all of a sudden there's these notes when you're trying to get there, and it's not like you and Sarah Buxton. To me, you don't climb to notes, you just go to them. Right? And this guy's trying to climb to the note.
I mean, I've on my nights, I'm sure I've gotten questionably there, but yeah. I will say it is kind of funny. I'm giving myself insulin right now. I've had a little too much wine apparently, but
You
all right.
take care
I'll
of you. Good.
Now.
All right, good.
What are you saying? Oh yeah, like the whole COVID thing. It's like so shocking. As a singer, it's like, yeah, wash your hands, don't touch your face. You don't want to get sick. Why would you? As a singer, it's like getting sick ever is just awful. It's just terrible. It's like hell. You don't want to be sick. I'll have to like tune my guitar down. I can't hit those notes. But yeah, wash your hands, don't touch your face.
Well, and that's.
I'm going to tell a quick story about "She Don't Love You, She's Just Lonely," because it is one of my favorite stories. There's a couple of them, and I'm not going to tell the second one. I'm only going to tell the first one, unless Natalie's there, in which case I'll tell the second one. But the
Ben.
we were there. She is.
She
Eric's
literally
lovely
just.
wife, Natalie.
How's that for timing?
That was a good time. I
So
walked in because I heard her tire. Had to listen to it.
the
Hey, this is Natalie.
Go ahead with your story, Nate. Sorry.
we were at CRS. I have no idea what year that was. We were at CRS, minding our own business, and we were in a suite. And Eric, plopped down one afternoon and goes, "Let me just play this song I'm kind of working on." Well, it was "You Don't Love You, You're Just Lonely," and it was we all sit there in a room and we all just kind of went. We all being like three of us at the time, because that's about how many people were there. So the next morning, I was having breakfast with Jennifer Wayne, and she's all, "What song? What have you heard this year at CRS that was your favorite thing?" And I'm all, "Eric Paslay did this song yesterday called something about being lonely, or you don't love you, she's just lonely," and she starts crying. And I'm all, why are you crying? She goes, because I wrote it with him. And and then when it peaked on the chart, some period of time later, Eric actually played the rodeo club that Friday night when it peaked on the chart. And we had a sold out show, and he thought it was a radio show. So he wasn't really quite sure that he was getting paid for it. And when I gave him the door that night, it was right before he and Natalie went on their honeymoon, and he still didn't believe me even when
And that was no, seriously, like that moment of, look, you know, typically all of you behind the scenes, when we play a lot of these shows, you don't get paid, and that was the very first time like I actually got paid to play a show, and it meant the world to me, man. Especially like we're going on a honeymoon, and it's kind of the burden of like, this is going to be expensive. I hope we can pay for this. And thanks to everybody that came to the show and sold it out, and thank you, Nate, for sharing that with me. And it was that was an amazing moment. I will never ever forget that. And we had a fabulous honeymoon.
We did.
Because of everybody at the rodeo club, and because that song did great and people showed up. But that was awesome, man.
And I remember that. Eric told me about that very specifically. I mean, it was just generous and it was awesome. So thank you.
Where did you go on your honeymoon?
Ooh, Italy.
We went to Italy. That's cool.
Wow. How much pasta
to
did
Italy.
you eat? You're real thin. How much pasta did you eat?
Well, the thing in Italy, like, they don't give you like the, you know, TGIF pasta plate. They give you like this.
That's true.
And then they give you like really good cheap wine, and then you just choose a bunch of small plates. And the best thing is, like, I think what we realized, like, you get a pizza and it's like got a tomato slice on it and some like spinach, and there's no red sauce. You're like, what the heck is this? And cheese, and you eat it, and it's like the best thing ever, because it's actually like a fresh tomato that you didn't have to put salt. Anyway, it just, like, fresh ingredients over there. It just blew my mind. Like, wow, this is food because it's like real.
It was amazing. We went to Rome and Florence and Cinque Terre and Venice.
Venice.
Oh, I can't believe I
Yeah.
almost didn't say Venice. That was amazing.
It was cool, but yeah,
very cool.
thank you. We didn't have to walk everywhere because of that show. Thank you.
Well,
And we actually, I took Natalie horseback riding in Florence, and that was probably a little add-on. But she loves horses, and I love horses, and it was just cool to you know, we show up and they're like, "Oh, you're like a real cowboy." I don't know why I'm talking like I'm Irish. But yeah, but it's fun.
you know, sometimes that just happens. The accent just comes out whatever the accent is.
Is Italy built for someone of your? Is Italy built for someone of your height? Because, you know, I mean, I have a brother-in-law who's 7 feet tall. All right, so he towers over you. So I have a lot of experience that seeing how the world is really not built for anybody over 6 foot 2 inches tall. So I can't imagine you and Charles Kelly and Blake Shelton having to go anywhere together because you can't fit.
We probably, well, actually, they have private planes probably, but I personally fly Southwest because they have good leg room.
There's better
But,
than
no, it's fun.
anywhere else.
Yeah, I got to hit up Blake next time he flies somewhere. Can I bum a ride on your plane? I hear there's room.
Good leg room there. And speaking of Charles Kelly, yeah, one of my favorites was The Driver that you did with him and Dirk Bentley. I remember we played it. It was just, I loved it because, again, it was one of those songs that just didn't sound like anything else. It was just a unique, how you guys crafted that thing and the viewpoint. I mean, who writes from that viewpoint of I'm the driver? You know, it was brilliant.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you brought that song up. I feel like, you know, as the singer and the writer, that song really didn't get enough due from the label. That was it never got a push. I think other songs got a lot more push. Anyway, that's one of the most disappointing songs for me, to see it not do well with Bentley on it and Charles and I. And But hey, we got nominated for a Grammy with it for Vocal Group of the Year, and I think it was. I'm glad that we got to tip our hats to everybody on the road, that from the drivers to the people that set it up to the crowd and the person on the front row. And it was just a thank you to everybody that lets us do what we do, and thank you for bringing up the song.
We played the crap out of that. It sure was something that sounded great on the radio.
Yeah, well, thank you. It was a beautiful video too. I don't know if anybody's gone and watched it. It was a really cool video of. It was a cool memory of getting to hang out with those guys. And yeah, at the war, we filmed it at the War Memorial Theater here in Nashville. Actually, the Grand Ole Opry was actually held there for a little while, way back. But yeah, good memories.
Well, that's one of my favorite things. I love all of your videos. I mean, come on, High Class and Friday Night. Come on, I played High Class today because I just like seeing you dance.
You got to.
Yeah, because you got to. And I played it on the air, and Julie comes out, my on-air partner. She comes out and she goes, "I always forget how awesome that song is."
That song was really good. We had a blast. Natalie was actually in the video. She was in a song about a girl. You can find the hot babe, looks like her on there. And then High Class, I go sliding down the hand railing and kiss a girl, I think. And that's her. I think that was her. I kissed you. Yeah.
Wasn't High Class the one you did at the Ryman at CRS where you did the dance? And it was like the first time we really did see the whole Eric Paslay dance.
I believe I probably moonwalked on the stage of the Ryman. I think I did.
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure you got a standing ovation that day.
I got the standing O.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the darkness. I will say this: if you get a standing O at CRS, it's bad. Don't get a standing O. Just keep sitting. Don't stand for me ever again, because then they won't play it enough.
It's a bad sign.
It's too good.
We talked about so many, so which one do you want to do?
Heck, you want me to play that? You want to play some High Class?
Absolutely.
Dude, you never have to talk me into it.
Hi, Natalie. Good to see you.
You too.
This video was a blast to do, and I remember writing it, and it was just a fun song. Everybody needs one night to go out of style, try a little spotlight for a little while. I'm talking fancy where the food ain't fast. 2 forks, 2 knives, but light in a glass. I rent a couch, surely, valet this ride. Credit on my cards, money in the bank, at least for tonight. I'm keeping my shades on inside, all just in black. It's the ladies who crazy, yeah, baby, gotta look this like. We ain't on the list, we on the list. We do like this, walk like that, skip the line, baby, don't look back. Tonight we high class, yeah. Tonight we high class, yeah. Hey, yeah. Grab a little bit more. Come on, baby. Grab a little bit more. Tonight we high class. Going at the DJ, he knows what to play. Out on the dance floor, all the girls be like, heard he talk Timberlake, 'cause I'm smooth when I move. Out on my league, but confident. I've had high life, but not like this. A good old boy could get used to keeping my shades on inside. I'm just glad. Just the ladies who crazy, yeah, baby. Gotta look this like. We ain't on the list, we on the list. We look like this, walk like that, skip the line, baby, don't look back. Tonight we high class, yeah. Oh, tonight we high class, yeah. Hey, yeah. A little bit more. Come on, baby. A little bit more. Tonight we high class. Can't take it with you when you die. So I'm going all out, spend my overtime. Can't take it with you when you die. I'm going all out with y'all right here tonight. I got my legs on inside. Oh yeah, all right. It's the ladies who crazy, yeah, baby. Cattle up this life. How? Keeping my shades on inside. I'll just sit back. It's the ladies who crazy, yeah, baby. Cattle up this life. We ain't on the list, but we on the list. We look like this, all like that. Skip the line, but don't look back. So now we high class, yeah. Oh, so now we high class, yeah. Drop a little bit more. Come on, baby, drop a little bit more. So now we high class.
Jeez,
That was awesome.
that's such a good song. Oh my gosh, it's just that had. Did you when you were writing High Class? When you guys put that together, I always wondered. I know it depends on the song, I'm sure, but do you find the beat first and then go with the words, or do the words lead to the beat on that and that particular song?
That was wrote that with Corey Crowder and Jesse Frazier, and he's just such a good producer and writer, and he had that music. He had a lot of that groove going. It was like, what is that? Boing, 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 boing. You know, I love blues and swampy and just real sound and stuff. And he started playing that, and I mean, it just it's like no, that one, keep playing that. And we just wrote the song. I don't know if we had the idea. Maybe we did. Maybe Corey had it. I don't know. A lot of times we just it sounded right. I don't know. But yeah, it was a blast writing the song, and I'm glad it came out. I feel like I feel like it might have come out a little too soon after She Don't Love You, but that's a whole other story. But I'm glad it came out, and I'm glad people have had fun. There are so many people that line dance to that song at shows. It's incredible. Like, it's the most line dance song at my show. It's like people just, it's like the whole, it's like the sea, the ocean parts, and everyone just starts line dancing out of nowhere with these incredible moves. So tip of the hat to all you line dancers who come up with these cool moves to High Class and all the songs out there.
Our resident line dancer, Adam the Dancing Cowboy, plays it all the time. So there you go.
Right.
I have a question from Anne Marie, who wants to know: has having Piper changed your perspective as a songwriter?
I think I don't know. I definitely see what matters a little more, and I think as a songwriter, I definitely, just as a person, I manage my time even better. And I kind of go like, all right, I only have this much, a certain amount of time in my life, and where do I want to spend it? How do I want to spend it? Who do I want to spend it with? And I think there's a lot of times you can waste a lot of people's time with just sitting around talking about nothing, or you can actually spend time with people that are your friend night, and it's quite amazing getting to watch a little soul become themselves. And to answer the question, I probably haven't felt the full impact of Piper in my songs all the time, and I know those haven't come out yet, but there's a couple songs on this new project that have her in mind on it. But I'm sure those roots are growing in my heart, and some cool things will grow out of it.
See, I think it's fun because I tell my wife this about our son. She's the one who just makes everything perfect, and does the big Easter baskets and all that, and Christmas. And I always say, you're ruining their wives. Their wives are always going to have to try to live up to you. So the cool thing is when when she brings home her first big relationship, the first serious one, and he's going to be sitting there going, now hold it. Your dad built this house, and he's a singer, and he wrote this song, and he's 6'6", and he's a Viking who's ashamed. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things to live up to.
Oh shoot! As long as the guy comes along, or whoever, just who's not afraid to and love or I don't care. I don't care what they achieve. I think
Yeah, but you're
we're
still going
good
to
at
be
chasing the
intimidating.
wind on. Well,
Well,
good. That means you won't do anything stupid.
somewhere exactly. Somewhere in there, those roots are in my heart is also a song, by the way.
We should do that. Hey, good idea. Take that down, somebody. Dang it.
And then Becca wants to know, and I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you because she asked it. Wants to know if you have your hot sauce bottle.
Yes, I do. I know exactly where it is. I actually found it because I know exactly where it is, but I saw it the other night. We've got it in the top of the back of the liquor cabinet, so no one can get to it. And I pulled it out and told the story about my to my brother and sister-in-law. I was like, KRTY, Nate Deaton, have me sign this and look at the date. And this is before you were born. And but yeah, it brought me joy getting to tell that story of you let us sign a hot sauce bottle, and when our song goes #1, you send us that bottle, and I felt the burn of love when I got that hot sauce bottle from y'all, and was super excited, and I think it's the coolest thing. It's just such a small little item can mean so much because so much is put into it to get a #1 song, and you know, I mean, we all know, just all y'all talking right now, it's near miracles to get a #1 song. Even though one happens every week or every 2 weeks, there's still a million miracles, and it was quite an amazing thing.
We just had a back-to-back hot sauce bottle week with Ingrid Anderson, Gabby Barrett, which we've never had before. We've never had two back-to-back. We've had a couple within a couple of weeks, but we've never had a back-to-back before.
I love it. That is awesome. Congrats, Gabby. That's great. She's great.
She got that big range with us too. We did this last Friday, and she dropped in, and she was literally sitting in the parking lot as Cade was in the tack store Mother's Day shopping for his mother. It's like
I love it. I watched it. I watched it with John. Heck yeah.
John and Zach Cale. Gary, I hadn't even one had ever met Zach Cale before. He was awesome.
Zach's awesome, man. We've written a bunch of good songs together. Good guy. Yeah, and what the heck? I'm with you, Gary. That beard he's really growing it out. I'm writing with him maybe tomorrow. I think I'm writing with him next week sometime. But anyway,
well, you know, when you pull him up on the internet, you know, because I'd never heard him from anything, and I pull him up, and the picture you get, it's this guy he had blonde highlight hair, and he's clean shaven, and he's got that look, like I told him, the youth pastor look, and you know what I'm talking about, just that look. Hey kids, here we go, we're going to sing a song, and then all of a sudden he comes on my screen, and I'm like, whoa.
I swear, as you know, as a singer and all that, it's amazing what photos people pick of you. It's like all I know, every picture I pick, if there's one bad one out of the 87 that we posted, that it's always the bad one at the fair that I show up to. It's like, who is that guy? I'm like, you know, but it's yeah. No, I'm with you. By the way, everyone, we did just update my website, so I actually look like me now. And no joke, no joke.
And Heartbeat Hire's out, but is anything else out, or is that?
Heartbeat Hire is the first song out. We've got a new. The next song will be out beginning of June, and pretty much every month we've got a new song coming out. But yeah, Heartbeat Hire is the one out right now, and getting the palette ready for all the new music. But
And so all the y'all that are watching, the only thing I can say is he's an independent artist. Go buy it. And
yes, my dog will love
it. What do you want to do? What do you want to do next?
I don't know. What do you have a request? Anything?
Oh, dude. I mean, listen, I want you to play whatever you enjoy playing, but I'm a big Paslay fan. All right. So don't be leaving it up to me, because I'm on. You know, I'll throw down "She Don't Love You," or I'll throw down a song about a girl. I mean, any one of those. If you want to do that, man, I'm all in.
I want to play a newer one.
Yeah, play a new one. I love new music.
if someone's watching this long, they're fans. So I figured. I wrote this song. Actually, I wrote this song for Charles Kelly. So there you go, another Charles Kelly song. And yeah, and Laura Veltz.
Laura Veltz,
Natalie and
Laura
mine.
Veltz did a Songwriters Night for us last year, and she's just amazing.
She's incredible. Good woman and great writer. Great woman, great writer. Yeah.
True.
She ain't wallpaper hidden in plain sight, or an arm candy savior on a Saturday night. Her heart ain't wired for a one-night stand. A woman like her is good for a man. Well, she ain't a rebel, she don't even smoke, but she's the real reason they made rock and roll. She'll test your temper just 'cause she can. A woman like her is good for a man. I'd be a walking disaster, an unhappily never after, if she hadn't come and wrecked all my plans. A woman like her is good for a man, yeah, a woman like her is good for a man. She loves the kitchen, but she hates to cook. She's arms open wide, but she's no open book. She's a lifelong riddle you never quite understand. Yeah, a woman like her is good for a man. I'd be a walking disaster, an unhappily never after, if she hadn't come and wrecked all my plans. Yeah, a woman like her is good for a man. Yeah, a woman like her is good for this man. La-di-da. La-di-da-da, la-di-da-da, oh. She's all kinds of pretty and all kinds of ways. She's painfully honest, but at the end of the day, she won't ever say it, but it ain't hard to see. I know I need her more than she needs me. Yeah, I'd be walking disaster, an unhappily never after, if she hadn't come and wrecked all my plans. Oh, when you find the one, then you'll understand. A woman like her is good for a man, yeah, a woman like her is good for this man. All right, sing la-di-da wherever you are. Here we go. La-di-da-da-da, la-di-da-da-da, la-di-da-da, oh. She won't ever say it, but it ain't hard to see. I know I need her more than she needs me.
That song belongs in a movie or a TV show. I mean, they literally. I mean, that is the montage for like for one of the most cool romantic comedies ever, or whatever. It is. You painted the whole movie. Everything you need to know about that movie's in that song.
Well, it takes a woman to do that. There you go. You saw her walk in the room earlier.
That's
All right. I'm not crying. You're crying.
That's amazing. What a great song. If I am not marginally mistaken, I think Laura Vels actually did that at the winery.
Hey,
Because
awesome.
I thought so, and then someone else just texted me and said so. Anyway, or it could be that you. I don't know, but anyway, that's an amazingly great song. Congratulations.
That is. That's amazing. Kristen wanted to know, is there anybody you'd like to collaborate with? Is there anybody you want to work with that you haven't?
There's so many. There I was like, who would you like to write a song with? I'm like, well, if we could get Tom Petty back from the grave, that'd be cool. And we'll, maybe just see if the Irish boys, if Bono and the Edge want to come over and hang out for a minute. And we definitely need Dolly Parton because she's the most rock star chick ever. And I just love thinking about Dolly being in like, the boys club of Nashville, and like how she has just outlasted so many and written so many great songs, and she's just she's just sunshine. She's the unicorn, man. Like I've only been like, well, when I'm standing on the other side of her fence stalking her, I'm pretty close to her. She's in there in the bushes. I try not to breathe hard, but that's so creepy. No, I think she's just awesome. There's so many people. It's like, well, what song do you want to write, and then I'll go from there. But I really, it would be cool to get to hang with Dolly and write a song with her. She doesn't need any help, but it would just be cool to be around her spirit and just get to hang with her and catch a song. And I just keep throwing that in the universe, seeing if maybe someday it happens. But I just respect the heck out of her, just what she's achieved, especially in the time period that she came through Nashville, and the songs that she's written by herself that still are recorded over and over is just amazing to me. And yeah, I'm generally, I always love writing with people that have a ray of hope in them, and she's got that, and the guys in U2 have that. Tom Petty had that in him, and it's I'm always open to write with people who are open-hearted and definitely love everybody.
That's the thing about Dolly. You talk about her. Well, you talk about her making it through the old boys club. Hell, she ended up owning the old boys club. I me's got the deed and it's in her back pocket. And I love that when because you talk about, you can be a nice person, and she's made $1 zillion. And as she said, what she always told people was, do you want to make some money? Because I can make you a lot of money. You'll make money and I'll make money, and we'll do it in a good way for everybody. And you're right, with that open heart. Nobody has bad stories on Dolly Parton. She's pushing 80. You would think by 80 years old, if you are who you are, and she's everybody's beloved ever since.
I feel like the only bad story that would show up is because she called out someone's just terrible nonsense. Like that would be the only bad story. She called me out on being an a-hole.
She was the first concert.
Tool bag.
She was the first concert I ever saw. I saw her when I was about 12 years old. She was performing on a flatbed truck with Porter Wagner in Geneva, or actually Red Level, Alabama, in late August. And it had to be 100 degrees. And she was wearing the crinoline. Porter had on the nudie suit. And even at that age, I'm like, man, those guys are performers. Because it was beating down, and they were out there singing and doing the whole show for an hour and a half on the back of a flatbed trailer.
Wow.
Doing the thing. I can't even imagine what that nudie suit smelled like. Like, we're on the 8th week of the tour. It's been over 100 degrees every show. Dear Lord.
Take this thing off. What you described, you mentioned a little bit about it earlier, but what you described is also the perfect description of Big Kenny. And I know you mentioned one song earlier, but have you written with them a lot?
We've written some cool songs together. There's a song that it would be cool to come out someday. It's like a Christmas song, and someday I'll put it out. Hey, maybe it'll be this year. Who knows? But he's just a jolly guy. I need to, every time I see him, it just lights up my heart to see him. And KRTY, his wife. They're just lovely people. But yeah, it's wild how in Nashville we get on a run with writing with our friends, and then we just kind of, well, heck, I went on the road for so many years, and still on, well, not on the road right now because of COVID-19, as we shouldn't be. But yeah, we've got some gems together, and but yeah, it's wild to go back. Just going down memory lane, thinking about getting to go to a studio and how much that meant when someone opens their door to you, especially when they've been successful, and yeah. Hey, thank you for opening the door, letting me come hang out with y'all today, and hang out with everybody on the other side of the camera. But it's Kenny is a very kind guy, and opened a lot of doors for me when I was totally a brand new kid, and I'll love him forever for that.
You have piqued my interest so badly. You have to send us the Christmas song for Christmas. You're right. We're gonna need all kind of great Christmas music this year, because it's going to be the most amazing Christmas for all of us. Maybe not the biggest gifts, but it's going to mean the most, especially if we get to be with family. And the idea of a Christmas song written by Eric Paslay and Big Kenny, dude, I'm all in. I'm 100% in. Jingle my bells. I'm in.
I think I know the chorus. It goes, I'll bring you roses in winter, red from my love, a hang mistletoe from the moon up above, and I'll kiss your lips to bring in the year, 'cause all that I want I'm holding, my dear. I'll bring you roses in winter, I'll bring you roses in winter. But yeah, it's called Roses in Winter. It's a beautiful song. It feels just old school, but I got to record it and put it out. But it's just a beautiful old, it just sounds like a timeless song.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I put my vote in. I don't know if I have a vote, but if I do, my vote's in.
All right. Well, we are almost out of. We've reached our peak of time, but I think we should do one more song before we do, if you don't mind, sir. And I'd say do whatever you want.
We'll rock a hit. We'll leave the kids with a hit. The reason I have Hot Sauce You Should Never Eat, because it's so old.
It was a little. Back in those days, we actually used open bottles, so his is a little green.
Yes. Mine is it's white. It's like, I think it was red and now it's white.
Yeah.
And I haven't ever opened it and smelled it, but
No.
you know.
Back in those days, we used whatever we grabbed off the shelf. These days, we actually use sealed ones. But
There you go. Well, I'm honored that I have one of the old ones. But yeah, this song, yeah. Hey, another song that Kelly was part of. Lady Annabelle recorded this first, and anybody watching probably knows that. But y'all had a blast hanging with y'all. Always cool to see you. I wish we were in person, getting to hang out, and hopefully we'll get to do it soon at one of the shows. Maybe up on the hill, drinking some wine or whatever. Here we go, y'all. I don't want to be a Monday morning heading back to work, stuck in traffic, going slow, nothing on the radio. I don't want to be another Georgia check on your list. Things you gotta do, places that you gotta go. Oh no. I
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Eric Paslay, like I said,
On KRTY.
that was some nice inserting. That was some nice improving right there.
Image, man.
Guys, now
I
you
love it,
see
y'all.
why we are looking so forward to doing this happy hour with Eric Paslay. We knew he was going to be an awesome because we've been such a fan for the longest time, and you were even as high as I had my expectations, you exceeded them.
And like you say, I hope, for the sake of all of us, hope that we can do something in the winery again this year. It may be October, but I hope that we get a chance to do something because it's always great to have you here. And like he said, thank you for doing this for us. Congratulations on the new music. I'm so excited about it. We've got a couple of people who said that they have already downloaded, including Anne Marie, who said she'd never actually bought a download before. So we're converting people left and right.
Thank you. Yeah, the purchases go a heck of a long way. I think you have to have like 1 million streams to get paid $1 or something. But yeah, no. Thank y'all for hanging out. Thank you. I cannot wait. I really hope we get to tour soon. But definitely want to make sure everybody's safe and we play it smart. And I don't want to get anybody sick just to come out and play shows because we can do it like this. But yeah, thank y'all for having us. And make it early October because I go to UK end of October, November for a rescheduled tour over there. So early October and I'll be there.
Right on. Thank you. Y'all take care, Gary. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you all next week with probably none of you because none of you are graduates, but we are doing a very special graduation happy hour next Thursday with Drew Baldridge and his song Senior Year.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Margot from Zoom, for making it all work so well for everyone.
Margot, you're a rock star. Thank you. See y'all. Thanks. Thanks,
Bye.
Nate. Thanks, Gary.